this is, mine is a very short, very brief speech, and the reason is because a picture tells 1,000 words, and I think I'd rather you spend all the time looking at these beautiful 40 photographs that we have here than boringly listening to me. I'm really excited because this is the 5th year, the 5th time we've partnered, with Sputnik, with Roscovinia to actually host the Andrei Stenin Exhibition. And it would not be possible, frankly speaking, without Ian. Where's Ian? Where he is also hiding somewhere here. Oh, there he is actually. Ian has been a stalwart of this exhibition. He's actually been 4 times to Moscow. 5 times, 4 or 5 times. And not only that, also worked together, I know, with the consuls teams, Bella and others, in putting this all together. So we are indebted to you for, having made this possible. And of course the castle for having, and Zico for having actually made this available to us. We live at a difficult time, complex time in the world today. And the world needs peace now more than ever. There's always different sides to every story, always. But the one thing that brings us together, in a way, is photographs, pictures. Because we can see through photographs and pictures the beauty of this world, as well as the horror of the world. I think sometimes we forget that at the end of all the conflict in the world today, there are human beings that suffer. And fundamentally, it brings much pain when we see human beings suffer. Andrei Stenin, he did something brave at the time in 2014 when he took photographs showing the horrors of conflict. And that inspired, of course, photographers from all over the world to actually be part of the competition or exhibition, so to speak, which is a global one, and we have it in South Africa as well. We're an organization, I head a grouping of many different companies, but one of them is the media business. And within the media businesses, we have 16 different media businesses, but within those media businesses, we are really privileged to have our photographers. I don't say thank you to them often enough. They are really the people that they're the window to the world for our readers, for our viewers, etc. And often, most other media organizations have actually gotten rid of the photographers, due to challenging times. We have retained many of the best photographers, and some of the best we have lost as well. Some to other more fortunate organizations. Some of the photographers standing here are winners of this award. I'm not going to mention them in person, but to tell you that they've won the global award for the best photograph as well. And sometimes we forget to acknowledge them. They go in difficult areas, difficult times, and they bring into our faces, into our homes, when we read, when we watch, the beauty of what is taking place in our society out there. And I think this exhibition is not just in honor of the photographers whose works appear here today. The exhibition is in honor of our own photographers as well. I want to thank you for your immense contribution to our organization and to the storytelling of your photographs to our nation. I was just walking in here thinking about the symbolism and the beauty of it as well. The symbolism of having an exhibition where we are telling the stories of people from all around the world through photographs, but having it in this fort, or some people like to call it a castle, which was built around about 1600 and I think probably 60 to 80 or so, I'm not exactly sure. And in this place, you know, it provided some protection to Dutch settlers, but it also provided some horrors to the indigenous community. And it's important to breach that gap, and to breach that and to explain what has happened, because societies only grow and humanity only flourishes if we want to find a future of a shared humanity, if we begin to understand each other. So I'm really glad, Kelvin, that you've allowed us, and Zico, that you've allowed us to actually host this exhibition here, because in many ways it is about storytelling. You know, I'm very happy that my friend San Higgins is here, is running the museum, which if you haven't been to, it's downstairs. It's a museum of the real heritage of Cape Town and to an extent South Africa. You really should visit it as well. So I'm really delighted that, you know, we are able to do all of this, and I'm really happy that we continue in this way. One last point that I wish to make is that I've said it in Moscow when I was there in November. I've said it in Davos when I was there in January this year. And I said it at a meeting when I was at with some key people in UAE about 2 weeks ago. The world needs a Mandela moment. The world needs that now more than ever before. I was very privileged to know Nelson Mandela personally and intimately. Something which I will cherish for the rest of my life. But what I learned from him, and there were many lessons which I learned from Nelson Mandela. The one lesson was that we must have the courage to speak in the name of truth and peace. And we must never be afraid to do that. And we must do everything possible to avoid conflict if possible. We must do everything possible to unite humanity. And Mandela sacrificed the largest part of his life, the best part of his life, in prison. And but what he stood for was to actually find the road to peace and to be able to share the stories. We are all human. We forget that. We forget that we all have feelings, we all have emotions, we all have families, we all have friends. And if we try and find each other, find that which is common with each other, a common humanity, rather than focus on differences, rather than focus on countries, focus on regions, we just focus on the fact that we are all human. The world will be a much, much better place. So I think the exhibition today is a demonstration of the ability of photographs to bring humanity one step closer to our door. And I must thank you all for having done that. I'm thanking the organizers. Also want to thank you who have taken your time. I know it's almost buka time. Buka means breaking the fast time. It's almost buka time, so thank you for taking the time, as hungry and thirsty as you are, for having come here today and for celebrating this aspect of humanity with us. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you very